Small town of South Park, Colorado is protesting against the president. The townspeople claim that the president, who is a great man.
A great man.
Great guy. We know he's probably watching.
You wanna fuck?
How about just you wanna talk, or you wanna watch a show together?
Okay, you wanna talk and watch a show together while we fuck?
It's so bad for him, it's hard for him to respond to, right? Like, it's actually, like, what's he gonna say? Like, he already said what he said about it, you know? And the Paramount deal's closed, so what are they gonna do?
It's so good. It's great. $1.5 billion.
$1.5 billion.
South Park just torched Trump and nuked Paramount in one of the most savage premieres the show has ever dropped. This was a public execution, loaded with humiliation, betrayal, and billion-dollar shade. And honestly, Trump couldn't take it. Matt and Trey left smoking craters where Trump's ego and Paramount's reputation used to be.
South Park episode everyone is talking about, the one where South Park takes on Donald Trump.
They're saying go for it, and indeed South Park still is going for it.
South Park Season 27 came back swinging like it hadn't in years. This premiere wasn't safe, it wasn't polite, and it wasn't subtle. It was raw, chaotic, and straight up offensive. For longtime fans, it felt like a jolt of electricity. For everyone else, it was a slap across the face.
The porch won't slow down.
The porch won't slow down?
It's not slowing down.
South Park has so triggered MAGA that they're now demanding that they stop talking about Donald Trump's.
And let me tell you, people noticed instantly. This wasn't a normal South Park episode. You could feel it. Every frame, every gag, every insane twist was dripping with intent. And that's where the genius of it comes in. Because this premiere might secretly be the biggest troll in television history.
Eric, sweetie, are you feeling any better?
No, Mom. I'm dying.
Hello there. It's really great that you're doing your job.
The chaos starts with Cartman, because of course it does. But instead of his usual selfish antics, we see him facing something deeper. His mom breaks the news that the president has shut down his favorite comedy radio show, and suddenly, Cartman notices a bigger shift happening around him. Woke culture is dying.
I think I know what's happening. I think woke is dead.
At first, it sounds like something Cartman should love, right? But no, he loses his mind, because without woke, he has nothing to push against. If nobody's offended anymore, then Cartman has nobody to torture.
Gee, what?
the like capturing of like the way all these that's what the foreign leaders, they have to come in and say, you're so handsome and you're so brave and you're so good. The groveling, it's so pathetic.
And that's where the brilliance kicks in, because Cartman's crisis is South Park's crisis. But if being offensive is mainstream now, then what makes South Park special? That's the meta joke buried inside Cartman's breakdown. He declares woke dead, spirals into despair, and drags poor Butters into it. Suddenly the subplot isn't just a gag, it's a reflection of the creators themselves, wondering if their own edge has lost meaning.
I just don't quite understand what the fascination is.
Well, they're just the new fad of the month, you know.
They make them scarce and hard to find a secret one.
Yeah, and then all the kids make their Labubu TikToks.
Labubu TikTok?
Yeah, the kids make them and they watch them. I can pull one up. This is Kelly Bronson from Mrs. Turner's class.
Even PC Principal, the literal embodiment of woke politics in the show, caves under pressure. Instead of fighting for his values, he throws in the towel and introduces Jesus into the schools. It's such a twisted inversion of his character that it shocks both the audience and Cartman, who realizes there's truly nobody left for him to annoy. And that's when he hits rock bottom. No woke, no outrage, no purpose.
The president has just returned from his historic tariff summit overseas. There's the president now looking handsome as ever. Oh, and there's the Prince of Darkness, who's been traveling with the president as of late.
South Park, like the makers of South Park, clearly want to trigger them. So every time they post a message like that, it's just telling them that it worked.
But South Park doesn't stop there. The real fireworks come when Donald Trump enters the picture. And I don't mean the serious satirical Trump we've seen before. No, this time, South Park strips Trump of power, strips him of dignity, and strips him of clothes. Literally. He's portrayed as a pathetic, petty man obsessed with one thing, the size of his penis in his presidential portraits. That's the level of mockery here.
And rather than just not watching the show, which is always available,
this isn't nuanced political satire. This isn't commentary on policies or scandals. This is straight up humiliation, childish, absurd, over the top. And that's exactly the point, because Matt and Trey knew that Trump doesn't explode when you challenge his politics. He explodes when you mock his ego. He doesn't rage when you debate him. He rages when you make him look small, weak, or laughable. And South Park weaponized that knowledge to devastating effect.
It's really interesting to see the like Trump bubble burst in this specific kind of space, this comedy space. And I think, you know, people might be wondering, why are you guys talking about this so much? Why has this become the focus of the Democrats? And it's because Trump ran as this outsider who was going to destroy the establishment and the elites.
Think about it. They could have written clever political commentary about elections, laws, or corruption. Instead, they turned Trump into a naked cartoon who can't stop whining about his anatomy. It's funny, yes, but it's also surgical. It's bait. They wanted him angry. They wanted him lashing out, and they wanted that anger aimed squarely at Paramount, the very company that just signed South Park to $1 billion deal. But that's why this episode hits so hard. On the surface, it's chaotic, offensive comedy, but underneath, it's precision trolling.
The Trump voice there is the Saddam Hussein voice, and Saddam Hussein in that movie is also dating Satan, so that the whole thing is just comparing Trump to Saddam Hussein.
Just when you think South Park has already gone too far, they crank it up another level. Out of absolutely nowhere, Saddam Hussein rises from the grave. Yeah, that's Saddam. 22 years after his last appearance, the dictator is suddenly back in South Park's world, and it's not just some lazy throwback gag. The way he's introduced, the disguise, the mannerisms, even the callback lines from the old seasons, makes it crystal clear. This was calculated chaos.
South Park is like, you go at them and they go back at you twice as hard. Like, people were criticizing them for making fun of Kristi Noem's appearance, so they changed their Twitter photo to her face melting off.
And then, like, she changed her Twitter photo to her face not melting off on the thing.
But there's more going on here than just a nostalgic deep cut. Saddam's return isn't random, it's foreshadowing. He's the signal that this season isn't just about mocking Trump for being petty, or mocking Cartman for losing his mind over the death of woke. No, this is setting up something bigger. The real game here is a three-way war: Trump, South Park, and Paramount.
Remember, the context here is Paramount just cut a $1.5 billion deal with Stone and Parker for 50 new episodes of South Park and the rights to stream every season on Paramount+. Paramount owns CBS. They just settled a lawsuit with Donald Trump. They agreed to pay Trump $16 million. Paramount's going to provide some additional $20 million in advertising and PSAs and stuff. And so the first episode came out where they did the teeny tiny penis bit.
Think about how insane that is. This isn't some indie cartoon with nothing to lose. This is a show that just signed a $1.5 billion deal with Paramount. And instead of playing nice, they're openly mocking Paramount, CBS, and one of the network's biggest late night stars. No other show on earth would dare pull that stunt. Can you imagine The Simpsons roasting Disney in the middle of an episode? Not happening. But South Park, they treat their billion-dollar bosses like the punchline of a joke. And when you connect the dots, it makes perfect sense. Because behind all the jokes, there's a real-world conspiracy unfolding that ties Trump and Paramount together in the ugliest way possible.
The people who have done this merger and now have this are probably like, honestly, we're going to get our money's worth now. This is very popular. The clips are going to go viral. Maybe this is going to make making fun of Trump profitable again.
Yeah, it seems like it already has, right? It's been incredibly high ratings.
If the end of the republic cannot move these media companies, perhaps profit motive can.
Here's the backstory. Trump has been at war with Paramount over election coverage. He hated how CBS handled his interviews, and he hated that their shows gave him negative airtime. So what does he do? He sues. Straight up. And suddenly, Paramount has a problem. Because they don't just need to win a lawsuit, they need Trump's blessing for something way bigger. And guess what happens next? Paramount quietly settles with Trump for $16 million. They don't admit guilt, but they basically hand him a giant check to shut him up. And that's not all. They also promise to give him more favorable screen time going forward. Translation: Trump leveraged Paramount like a pawn in his bigger game.
They canceled Colbert, and then they're like, we're going to give $1.5 billion to these guys. And they're like, we're going to fuck this. We're going to make your lives miserable.
Absolutely miserable. And we learned from the first episode, the White House was watching, and they were quite angry about it.
And if you think that's coincidence, look at what happened right after. Paramount cancels The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. That's right, Colbert, the guy who's been #1 in late night ratings for years, suddenly gets axed. The official line is creative changes and new directions, but the timing is just too perfect. Colbert is Trump's biggest critic on late night television, and boom, he's gone, just as Paramount is trying to keep Trump happy.
Colorado natives Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park, reached a $1.5 billion streaming deal with Paramount.
South Park may have just pulled off its funniest crime in history. Matt and Trey took Paramount's $1.5 billion deal, signed it with a smile, and then immediately set the place on fire. They roasted Trump harder than Colbert ever did, right after Paramount axed Colbert to keep Trump happy. That's not a coincidence. That's sabotage dressed as comedy. This premiere wasn't just an episode, it was a hostile takeover of pop culture. In one strike, South Park managed to troll both the most thin-skinned politician in America and the billion-dollar corporation that thought it owned them. Absolute chaos. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to get more updates.